When the session began this afternoon, the tribunal decided to continue its sessions until 5 o'clock. So the court is still in session. In the courtroom immediately below us. And in a minute, we'll listen in on a speech as we picked it up in that courtroom. There's been a little sideshow going on here due to the ambitions and yet suspicions of the efforts of some writer in the Army-Navy Journal in Washington accusing the chief prosecutor, Justice Robert H. Jackson, of trying to discredit the military profession at the Nuremberg War Crimes Conference and attaching to it the departure of General Donovan, contemplated even before this trial began. The Army-Navy Journal strikes out at what it purports to be Jackson's effort to establish a principle of international law whereby professional military leaders are subject to conviction as war criminals because of service in high commands or on general staffs. The editorial staff of the Army-Navy Journal called this a slur on the honorable profession of arms in variance with the Geneva Convention. Jackson answered today that the author of the article apparently had never read his long and, I say, masterful opening speech in which Jackson said that the four powers were not prosecuting these militarists for serving their country, but for mastering it and driving it to war. Not for fighting a war, but for promoting one, unquote. Here in the courtroom today, we've been listening to Sir Hartley Shawcross, the British Attorney General and Chief Prosecutor, present the British case, which has been graphically illustrated by a huge chart on the wall below us depicting 15 German moves of aggression with a violation of 9 treaties. Sir Hartley spent an hour showing how wars of aggression had been outlawed by international law. Now you will hear the British prosecutor speak by transcription.
Is the record of the conference held by Hitler on May the 23rd, 1939. Conference with many high-ranking officers, including the defendants Goering, Raeder, and Keitel. The details of the whole document will have to be read to the tribunal later, and I merely summarize the substantial effects of this part of it now. Hitler stated that the solution of the economic problem with which Germany was set to face could not be found without invasion of foreign states and attacks on foreign property. Danzig, and I'm quoting, Danzig is not the subject of the dispute at all. It is a question of expanding our living space in the East. There is therefore no question of sparing Poland. And we are left with the decision to attack Poland at the earliest opportunity.
This is Arthur Gaeth speaking from Nuremberg, Germany. I return you now to the Mutual Newsroom in New York.